Developing right now, big news from D.C. The U.S. Attorney General appointing a special counsel in the ongoing investigation of President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. You'll remember last month, a judge challenged the terms of Hunter's plea deal on tax charges. So instead of pleading guilty to failing to pay his taxes for 2 years, as the arrangement called for, Hunter Biden ended up pleading not guilty to the charges. I'm joined now by Meet the Press moderator Chuck Todd. So Chuck, what does this move of appointing a special counsel in the Hunter Biden probe tell us about the case against him, if anything?
Well, I think it means that the case is far from done. And the idea that they were almost at a plea deal and then it fell apart under some questioning from a federal judge a couple weeks ago, this now tells me did they get new evidence? I mean, I think this is what we don't know, is what something happened to trigger this. Is it new evidence? Is it something that they missed before? I think the other head scratcher is the fact that the same person who's been doing the investigation is now being given special counsel status. And frankly, I've got a question of what took so long? Because when you listen to the Attorney General back in November of 22, when he appointed the special counsel to look into Donald Trump and the classified documents in January 6th, one of the rationales he made was the perception of bias. He didn't want to see that. The fact that Donald Trump was an active candidate, the fact that the sitting president was likely a candidate for president, that is what justified the special counsel. And I remember at the time thinking, well, then all right, then I assume Hunter's going to have a special counsel soon as well. So I would say this, I think this is a bit late to boost the credibility of the Justice Department here and the other special counsel investigations. But at a minimum, at least it does potentially do that. But it certainly raises a ton of questions about the investigation into Hunter. And perhaps there's new information. You know, the House Republicans keep claiming there is. Perhaps there must be something that the U.S. Attorney found. But that's not clear right now.
So how does all of this play out politically for the president?
Well, I think it plays out terribly for him. I mean, look, Joe Biden built his brand on the fact that unlike most politicians in Washington, he didn't get elected to the Senate to get rich. In fact, he was regularly the poorest among the poorest senators over a 30-year period. When you look at how Mitch McConnell has become a multimillionaire since he got elected to the Senate, and Joe Biden never even crossed the $1 million threshold until he wrote a book at his vice presidency, he had earned some benefit of the doubt. But the fact of the matter is his son and brother were trading on his last name, and he seems to look the other way. I don't think there's a crime there, but it's politically stinky, right? Mm-hmm. Especially in a time when a lot of Democrats look at the way Trump conducts himself and believes that that's morally and ethically repugnant. So, you know, this whataboutism that many Republicans have been throwing at Biden, I think had sort of stuck with some voters. And I think the fact that now Joe Biden's Attorney General thought things were bad enough to appoint a special counsel, I think this very much not only hurts President Biden, but it helps Donald Trump in that it dilutes the legal problems politically, that is. Look, Donald Trump's still in some serious legal jeopardy, but somehow he's Houdini on the politics of it.
Yeah, and I don't see Joe Biden being able to turn this around in the same way that former President Trump is able to turn things that normally you'd think of as like campaign killing into positives and to get people fired up.
Well, Biden's not going to trash his own Justice Department, right? Mm-hmm. He's not going to do the things that Donald Trump would be willing to do, which could galvanize some supporters, I guess, who believe politics needs to be a pugilistic sport. But for those of us that don't think it's going to be viewed that way, I think this just invites more talk of a primary challenge to Biden and more talk of third-party candidates.
Chuck Todd, thanks so much for your insight. Always super valuable. And be sure to tune in to Meet the Press every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. right here on WCNC Charlotte.